and greetings to all your brothers and sisters still living today in Sri Lanka without justice. I'm really proud to be invited to speak here today and to be part of the launch of this great campaign, Are They Living? Because it is absolutely outrageous that so many years after the conflict ended, we still do not know what happened to 18,000 people, maybe 150,000 people who are unaccounted for. I am so upset and ashamed that we have not done enough in this country. My government, whether it was the coalition before, have not done enough to put pressure on the UN to ensure that there is an independent investigation of the terrible things that happened not just during the conflict, but continue to happen today. I am an international human rights lawyer, focusing particularly on women, and even more particularly, I focus on the needs and roles of widows and wives of the missing. My heart goes out to all those tens of thousands, maybe 100,000 women who may be widows, but many of them are what we call half widows. They do not even know what was the fate of their husbands who went missing, and they are living in an absolute limbo, a limbo of not knowing whether they are widows or not. They are living in poverty. They are living trying to look after their children. There are just so many of them, and they need justice. They need for those people who did these terrible things, who tortured and disappeared their husbands, their fathers, their brothers, who did these terrible things, need to be identified and prosecuted as the perpetrators of the most atrocious war crimes. We're here really to focus on the missing, but also we must remember the tortures that are going on even today, and the way that women, particularly these young widows and their daughters and their children, continue to be victims of violence, and particularly sexual violence, by the military, who are taking up their lands, who are going up into the northeast, who are making it more difficult. And the young widows who have lost their homelands, their houses are destroyed. If they get any pensions, they are derisory. They cannot look after their children. If we can only get justice, if we can get a proper investigation of what happened to the people who went missing, then maybe these women can be helped to get proper compensation, to get reparations, to get help to rebuild their lives, to educate their children. It's almost been a taboo to talk about the missing, but it's now so many years since the conflict ended. I'm sorry that it was postponed. We say now, coming October, that's the final day. We've got to do everything we can. My government here, this new government, Mr. Cameron and his lot across the road, have got to really support the people of Sri Lanka so that they get international justice. My heart goes out because we talk about this again and again, but often we forget the terrible suffering and poverty of the women and the children of those who went missing. I've often been to your beautiful country, Sri Lanka. I haven't yet been up to the north. I long to go when you all get the justice that you merit and you deserve. I will be with you in your struggle and in your fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Margaret.